It's time to wake up America.
Today we're here with...
He's gonna lock her up. He's gonna round him up. ISIS better giddy up, cause here comes Donald Trump. He's gonna lock her up. He's gonna round him up. ISIS better giddy up, cause here comes Donald Trump. Come to save the day by restoring the old American way. You wanna make America great? Vote Donald J.
Today we're here with Thejazmiles, Rick Donovan, and we'll be talking more about politics today, all the corruption going around the world.
There's a lot of things going on around the world. I don't know if you want to start with the hurricane or if you want to start with what I was talking about with Ilhan Omar, which we're about to show our viewers. Which one of those now to give you a brief my thoughts on them.
Ilhan Omar.
All right, Ilhan Omar. Okay, so from the so-known squad, or however you want to call them, Ilhan Omar came here from Somalia. It is possible that she not only was involved with a Somali relationship, married under Islamic law.
Yeah, but it was her brother.
Cut right to the chase with that one. But not only that, so she has a husband, 2 kids by the husband, moves in, and then she divorces him, marries another guy. They all live together like Three's Company, come and knock on my door.
Mm-hmm.
Now get to the now, she's involved with another man,
A white guy.
whose wife sent in divorce papers in D.C.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that crazy or what? The
Yeah,
video
yeah.
that I was showing you before
Yeah, yeah.
about how much trouble is she in. Not only is it possible tax evasion because she's using their... Now, you would understand this better. Campaign financing. Here's exactly what they're saying she did. Okay, she's in a relationship with the guy who's her campaign manager, and she's paying him, but she's not itemizing the payout.
Well, I'll tell you what, you pull that in New York, and being someone who ran for office, public office, you have to have your T's crossed, your I's dotted, because, Albany is looking right down your throat. And I'm wondering, hey, why is she getting overlooked by the feds?
Right, so she didn't itemize everything, so when they go out together and the whole tab is $12,000, is it shopping for both of them? Is it beer? Is it burgers? Is it, so the itemized list part.
Yep.
Now, the immigration part. Did she commit immigration fraud because she married the second guy to stay for them to get citizenship into the country?
Yeah, especially her marrying her brother. Come on. She did it illegally, and I just can't believe that this person got elected into Congress.
Now, they're going to be looking into that. She's a freshman, so she's only been in there less than a year is what I'm saying. I don't know how that works, the legal ramifications, but she has several strikes against her between the immigration, the tax, the multiple marriages, being involved with a campaign manager, so campaign finance laws. That's almost as big of a storm as the next one I'm bringing up, which is Dorian. Mm-hmm. Dorian. Now, for those out there that say there's no coincidences, Dorian is actually numerically 61, which is QAnon. I don't know if you knew that or not.
No.
But that is going out there on the internet that Dorian numerically is 61, which also equates to QAnon.
Yep.
What are the chances?
And President Trump said, the calm before the storm.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just funny that how this storm worked.
Oh, it worked perfectly. So also there was some mention of, was he going to nuke a storm? And it sounded like a crazy idea. But here's something that's not crazy. If you had a tactical nuke and you set that off at a precision spot, you would be able to have 200 mile per hour winds for 30 to 45 miles out for roughly 24 to 36 hours. If you have an F5 hurricane, even though they don't do it on a Fujita scale, so if you had a 5 hurricane, it would also provide you with the same effect as a tactical nuclear weapon. Mm-hmm. Now, 2 spots got tactically nucleared.
One was Bahamas.
Now, unbeknownst to some people, the $500 billion or more that China was getting through or from the U.S., however that worked out from Clinton to Bush to Obama, which is now stopped due to our duly elected president Donald J. Trump, well, they were buying up parts of Africa as well as the Bahamas, and in the Bahamas, they actually had a nuclear submarine site,
Yep.
which was virtually invisible, but very close to us, like within, let's say, 300 miles or so, within the U.S. shore. Okay, so it went over Epstein Island and totally obliterated everything there.
Yeah, well, that was a good thing.
And then, but then this storm, or this tactical nuke, or the nuclear storm, or the calm before the storm, then went, like you said, to
Yep.
The Bahamas. Now,
It's really, really strange. Do we really control the weather? You kind of wonder.
well, there's a clip that I'm looking for that you brought that up. If I find the clip, we're going to do a complete episode on that. But now the storm hung out for 36 hours, and now it's going up the coast. I wish everybody well, because I have family in Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland. I have family all up and down the coast. So we want to make sure everybody there is doing well.
Yeah, we want to hope that God's taking care of those people.
So I'm throwing you a quick curveball on this, but the night that we're filming this, all the Democrats are coming on TV to do their climate control preview, or what they would do for climate control change or climate change. I have a list, I don't have it in front of me, but one of the few things I want to talk to you about. If a politician is serious about climate control, how many school buses do you think ride across this country every day running on gas?
Oh, millions.
Can we ever change climate control while that's going on?
Nope.
And that's not even metro buses.
And that's a lot worse than, cow emissions.
Right.
You heard that AOC?
So if I was in front of the politicians doing this climate control thing, I'd want to ask them, one, what are chemtrails and why are they being sprayed over our skies, even though our president is working on that? I do not see them as much as I was seeing them before. We have bluer, cleaner, clearer skies. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
What are chemtrails and why are they being sprayed and how do they affect the weather? Mm-hmm. What is HARP? Now, that's the antenna. You know what HARP is?
Up in the North Pole area.
Okay. What is HARP and why is that able to go on?
Something Jesse Ventura talked about.
Okay, and then why are all these school buses still out here running on the gas that pollutes the air, et cetera, et cetera? Just from a climate control standpoint. Before you take away anything of mine and tell me what to stop eating, stop Prince Harry from taking 5 jet flights on his private plane a week, stop Jerry Clooney or whoever out in Hollywood from on their private plane. Get all that done first before you knock on my door about a propane tank or natural gas.
Or telling me what to eat.
Exactly. We're going to take a quick 30-second break, and we're talking Russia reset, Arab Spring. I don't know what's coming up next, but stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Furious.
Oh, Fast and Furious. That's what it is. So many things going on. We'll be right back.
Mexico agreed to tighten the border after President Trump threatened to impose tariffs.
President Trump signed a memorandum easing all federal student loan debt for disabled veterans.
I'll be signing an executive order imposing hard-hitting sanctions on the supreme leader of Iran.
The first American president to set foot in North Korea. President Trump signed what's described as a safe third country agreement with Guatemala.
President Trump Monday signed an executive order which he says will increase transparency around the cost and quality of health care.
The G7 meeting over in France, the president got a lot accomplished there.
At the G7 summit, he also announced a trade deal with Japan.
Billions and billions of dollars. Tremendous for the farmers. I'll sign an executive order taking vital steps to increase the supply of kidney-available transplants.
These new rules really bolster President Trump's long-standing belief that legal immigration should be merit-based.
It's an honor to have Prime Minister of Canada, the Emir of Qatar, Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mongolia, the President of Romania, President of Poland with us.
A lot of people are giving him backlash, but he obviously came out here in good faith. We were just grateful that he came and gave us support.
We're bringing Americans who have been on the sidelines back into the workforce, including former inmates.
The president just announced an agreement with the EU to open up European markets to U.S. beef.
Today we celebrate the revolution in American energy that's helping make our economy the envy of the world. We're going to keep winning and winning and winning.
Fans, we're back. Wake up, America. Thejazmiles, Rick
Donovan.
Yeah, I was about to say it again. Rick Rock. Because when you go to Facebook, there's so many Rick Donovans or whatever.
And it says rock. That's what I used to be called, when I was growing up.
Also the Nature Boy.
Yeah.
Also, he's a little bit of Hacksaw Jim Duggan-ish.
Yeah,
You know?
my friends at work call me Ric Flair. I mean, hey, sometimes I wake up in the morning and I wonder who the hell am I? Woo! To my buddies at work. Yeah.
So, going back to how we talked about the scandals of Barack Obama, there's 14 to 20 of them that we have listed. So each week we're basically going to peck on one until the whole thing comes out and the whole systematic system is brought down with James Comey, Peter Strzok, and the whole FBI investigation into Trump and that kind of thing. But one of the major things that happened under President Barack Obama
was a gun walking scandal, which was called Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah, they thought that they could, send 1,800, I think it's 1,800, assault weapons down to Mexico. They marked them, and they thought that they could find who was the big gun runners in Mexico, but it backfired on them.
It backfired, for sure.
And some of these weapons killed some of our DEA agents.
Right.
Another one ended up in El Chapo's, one of his crimes.
Yep, his organization and clique did have a few of them.
There was like 120 crimes that happened in Mexico and near on our southern border within our country. And these weapons were traced to those crimes.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks a lot, Obama. Hey,
Barack Obama, yep. Eric Holder, Hillary Clinton. Now, during the Russian thing they tried to pull with our duly elected president, which didn't work. It was like a coup, but it didn't work. One of the things they talked about was obstruction of justice. If you check the records, the Republicans requested information from Eric Holder umpteen times on Fast and Furious.
Yep. And Obama said, he wanted to use executive orders to push that through, but the Republican Congress says no way.
So questions never got answered about Fast and Furious, which still might have to be answered because it was the death of some of our agents. Okay, so now that happened while they're running AR-15s and other weapons that they want to take from us right now. Second Amendment rights that we have. The right was put there for us to protect ourselves. So I hear a lot of people say, well, you don't need these guns to hunt, and people back in the day and our founding fathers never thought. Well, our founding fathers actually did, and here's what I'm saying. There's not a Western that you can't watch any time it was made, even at the modern day, where they don't show people from young kids to women to old men shooting bottles, rocks, rabbits, squirrels, anything they can from back in the Western days.
Especially with that good old Winchester.
Exactly, and it was there to protect yourself. So now they want to put a cap on the capacity of a magazine, or a high magazine capacity, high capacity magazine.
Right,
well, what's a high capacity magazine, Beto O'Rourke, and how do you plan on coming to anyone's door to confiscate their weapon?
Yeah, what are you going to do? Because our own state police won't do it. I don't think they will. But I do believe that if O'Rourke becomes president, he might use the UN troops. Don't do that, because we'll take that. Us Americans will take it as an invasion of our country.
Absolutely.
And you guys in blue helmets, well, you know what? There's a lot of us practice shooting, especially with the blue light cans, bing bang. So
exactly.
Blue is already ingrained in our minds, and that's the helmet color that those assholes use in the UN. So please don't come to our country and try to take our guns.
It'll go from the British are coming to the blue helmets are coming. Mm-hmm. Okay, so how are you going to buy them back, Beto? With what funding, what financing? Are you just going to write a check, script something out for this?
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Well, how can you buy something back that you must have owned previously? So you're telling me that the government, somehow the weapons that they have confiscated and back up on the street, and that's why we have a buyback? Well, the government's buying back. Well, if they're buying back something, then they owned it.
We have a government buyback program here in Buffalo. Buffalo, New York, Mayor Byron Brown. Now, it was prior to him, too, with Mayor Masiello. I don't think Jimmy Griffin had it going on.
No.
But Masiello and I know Byron Brown had a buyback program. But you bring up an interesting point. The only way you could buy something back is if you put it out there, owned it, possessed it, had it to begin with. So what is our government saying to us when any of them, I don't care if it's Beto, the local mayor, councilman, senator, if they're saying they're doing a buyback, how do you buy something that you didn't own unless you owned it to begin with?
Mm-hmm. And the question is, too, if it's a stolen weapon, and you're going to turn a blind eye, this guy brings a buyback, he's got a stolen weapon, you're not going to arrest him?
Questions, nothing, fingerprint, no data analysis from him, the gun, to see if it matches up to a recent crime, and the guy walks off with a check or cash or however they decide to pay.
At least, if you're going to buy back a weapon, at least get the name of the person that brought that weapon to you.
Know who you're handing $250 to, if nothing else.
Correct.
If that doesn't matter, what else is going to matter in this set of circumstances?
Right.
Folks, there's so much more we could talk to you about. Fast and Furious goes even deeper than that. The Russian reset, Uranium One, there's so many other things. I'm going to end it with this. Did you know that the Obamacare website rollout cost $500 billion? Did you know they gave Solentra for solar panels virtually $500 billion? A bankrupt company that they knew was bankrupt before they gave them the money. But yet these same people are complaining about our president having $5 billion to build a wall to protect all of us.
Yeah. Like I said, they speak with forked tongue.
And that's why we're called Wake Up America.
And we ought to wake up, everybody.
All right.
And remember that, Exodus and the Exodus,
walk away. Yeah.
People are walking away, believe me. I mean, I've talked to fellow friends who are, co-workers and friends. Maybe they won't vote and change over to Republican because I don't know why. They just don't want to switch, but they're not going to vote.
I have a confession.
They're turning their back on the Democratic Party by not voting at all.
I'm one of the first people to have to re-register because I'm still registered as a Democrat, even though I voted for Bush in 2000, and I voted for Donald J.
Yep.
So I didn't vote for Mitt, but I didn't vote in that election, and so I very rarely vote for the same person the second time. So when Clinton ran the second time, I actually voted for Ross Perot. That's how I am.
I met Ross Perot. Too bad he passed away this year.
When Bush ran the second time, I didn't even bother. I figured he had it in the bag. My philosophy is this: if you're a good enough president, you're going to get the second term. Even I'll say without my vote, but my philosophy's changed in this one. This election is too important. I'm definitely voting.
Yep. Period.
But my past philosophy is I'm going to vote for you the first term, and you should be good enough that the people that didn't vote for you the first time come out the second time, and you still win. Rick, are we all good here this week? Or you got some more?
No, I think everybody should get out and vote for this man. Everything's really going well.
Well, not to knock anything, but there's still a year left. You know what I mean? In this first presidency. So we still have to make sure everything goes. We're doing a lot of winning, and we're about to end our segment. There's a special 2-minute video that I didn't get to show you yet, but there's a 2-minute video we're about to run right now just to show you this summer. Right. Not even the 2.5 years, just this summer. So until next time, this is Thejazmiles.
Rick Donovan.
Stay awake, America.
Wake up, America.
Mexico agreed to tighten the border after President Trump threatened to impose tariffs.
President Trump signed a memorandum easing all federal student loan debt for disabled veterans.
I'll be signing an executive order imposing hard-hitting sanctions on the Supreme Leader of Iran.
The first American president to set foot in North Korea. President Trump signed what's described as a safe third country agreement with Guatemala.
President Trump Monday signed an executive order which he says will increase transparency around the cost and quality of health care.
The G7 meeting over in France, the president got a lot accomplished there.
At the G7 summit, he also announced a trade deal with Japan.
Billions and billions of dollars. Tremendous for the farmers. I'll sign an executive order taking vital steps to increase the supply of kidney-available transplants.
These new rules really bolster President Trump's long-standing belief that legal immigration should be merit-based.
It's an honor to have Prime Minister of Canada, the Emir of Qatar, Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mongolia, the President of Romania, President of Poland with us.
A lot of people are giving him backlash, but he obviously came out here in good faith. We were just grateful that he came and gave us support.
We're bringing Americans who have been on the sidelines back into the workforce, including former inmates.
The president just announced an agreement with the EU to open up European markets to U.S. beef.
Today we celebrate the revolution in American energy that's helping make our economy the envy of the world. We're going to keep winning and winning and winning.